Okay, now. Brother, you can continue.
Oh, yes. Greetings, fellow skeptics and atheists. I wonder how's my sound quality. I'm not at my usual place. I've got visitors, so we went to another place. So my usual device, I did not use it. And I'm in a place that doesn't have furniture, so maybe that's that echo, but my apologies. Tonight, when we speak about sex work, we mean consensual sexual services exchanged between adults. Trafficking, coercion, and the sexual exploitation of children are abuses and crimes. And that's not the form of what we are talking about here today. We are talking about consensual services, sexual services between adults. This will help us to be focused and not to use a wrong logic to dispute sex work. Sex work also, that work, it's like in labor. Just like any other labor, it is work that a person is doing. So that's just setting up the scene so that we are discussing the same issue and we are not scattered all over the place. Others oppose it, others agree with it. If you agree with it, tell us. If you oppose it, tell us and tell us the reason why. So it will be through the show of hands. That I will know who to call next. Oh yes, I can see there's Muruki there. I'm working with a different interface than the one that I'm used to. Muruki, in 5 minutes, can you please or less help us about your view?
Okay, thanks, Blalang. For me, honestly, I'm against it because those women are mostly exploited. They come from difficult backgrounds, and it's a desperation. They do it as it's a last resort for them. So they are used, they're exploited, people take advantage of them. So for me, for the sake of the ladies, I'm against it because it's like those women are cheap. They're meant to be very cheap. Yeah, thanks.
Okay. Oh, by the way, Muruki is very brief and straight to the point. If we had people that are that brief and straight to the point, would have very short meetings and it would be very effective. Then who's next? I'm not sure whether. Oh yes, there's Dorcas. Let's hear from you, Dorcas. Oh, Dorcas, can you hear us?
Okay. Yes, yes.
Oh, yes.
I'm trying to turn on my video. Oh, great. It is on.
Oh, but even with you, you are light today.
It's because of the light. Very soon, if I turn it off, my real complexion shows. Okay. Now you have said, or you've asked us to declare whether we are for or against prostitution. Imagine I am neither. I kind of understand the position of both parties, but I am kind of leaning towards being against prostitution. My attitude towards the industry is changing. When I became a new atheist, I wanted to support everything liberal, anything that goes against religion. Yes, I'm for it. Sex work, yes, it's work. But then as I look into the dynamics, I'm realizing that it might not be all sunshine and roses. Why would I understand where it's coming from or the reasons for me supporting prostitution? One is the fact that it is a choice. These are consensual adults. There is, especially if we're not considering human trafficking, there is really no victim there. It is two people who are benefiting from each other. Another thing is women's sexual liberation. For the longest time, women's sexuality has been oppressed, but with prostitution, they are able to express themselves willingly. Then the other thing is that there's demand for it. It's called the oldest profession for a reason. Furthermore, some men, and in fact, I have to make it gendered because close to 90% of sex work clients happen to be men. Even the sellers happen to be, 90% happen to be women servicing male clients. We have a small gay male category, but they are the minority. So I have to look at it from the gendered perspective. And you might find that a man's wife is disabled, she is sick, and she's not able to give him sexual gratification. So he gets it from that. Or somebody might be in a long distance relationship and they've agreed with their partner, you can go and buy just so that you don't burn with passion, So the fact that there's demand for it also makes me understand where it's coming from. And even this idea of people looking down on sex work, I could argue that it actually stems from the social parameters around it, where women are supposed to be virgins or nothing at all, virgins or sluts. Actually, we are going to use words which will get us censored on YouTube, but oh well, we have to communicate. So those are some of the reasons why I understand why sex work is necessary. Oh, lastly, the economy. You see, things are really bad. People have been pushed to the wall and they are taking up whatever opportunities they can. Now, on the other side, I also understand some people who oppose sex work. By then, Mr. Moderator, do let me know when my 5 minutes are up. I'll stop and continue my points the next time I make my contribution. So one of them is the risks, the inherent health risks associated with this kind of work, and they are unique to that category. For instance, you could get HIV, HPV, syphilis, gonorrhea, and all manner of venereal diseases. Sometimes a person could have paid and agreed to protected sex, but then they end up removing it and they just do it raw and they infect you with those diseases.
Does
So
the
that
volume
kind
change
of,
on your side or is it on my side?
oh, hello. Can you hear me? Can you hear
Yes,
me,
I can
guys?
hear you, but it has changed. It has gone lower.
Oh dear. I don't know. Maybe let me just raise my voice as
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the
You've
health
got
risk.
30 seconds to wrap up.
Okay. Another reason, I think I'll just give one more and then continue the rest of my points against prostitution the next time I speak. So the one I would give is the fact that, is it really an economic choice if I am desperate, that I've been forced into it? I watched a documentary about some Senegalese prostitutes, and I was like, this is not really a choice. There are some systemic issues that make people become exploited because of those economic challenges. Since my time is up, let me stop there, then I'll continue the next time. Thank you.
Thank you. Then let us go to Ndeve.
Thank you, Bolelang. Hello, everyone. This is this is a topic. It's a topic. For me, I would look at it on. I'm going to look at it on both sides, and I am going to start by saying that probably there is a problem stemming from puritanical culture or wherever the problem started, because I bet you in the beginning there probably was no problem with the people doing whatever they were doing, because there are ironmongers using their hands, there are farmers using their hands, there are pianists using their hands, there are doctors, there are nurses. All these people are using a part of their body. For your work, you're going to have to use a part of your body. Then here comes Puritanists or religion that do not, they don't even dare that we name the parts of our bodies, some parts of our bodies, let alone use them for for economic purposes. And I think that that's probably where the problem stems from, somebody using a part of. Can you imagine a doctor that didn't have hands? How would they be working? Or without a brain, how would they be working? You have at your work, you have to give your employer a part of your body, your time, your concentration, or your psyche, or everything. You have to give them in exchange for money. It's only that if you're going to use some parts of the body that we are even afraid to name to our doctors, then there is a problem. And the problem is not that part of the body. The problem is how we are socialized about those parts of the body. This is my argument, that we are so socialized in the way I was raised anyway, that you could not tell the doctor you are suffering from what. You have a problem, you have a pain where you can't even name where you have a pain. So first of all, we have to look at the problem where some parts there's something wrong with any part of our anatomy. There is nothing wrong with any part of our anatomy. First of all, we can name it. Now, the problem I see with sex work is that mainly it is women who do this work, and we know what is wrong with women doing anything. So it is the women who are in the wrong, who sell the wares, but not the men who buy the wares. So all the time we're looking at only the seller. We're not looking at the buyer. If there was no buyer, there would be no seller. So exactly, I mean, we really need to file this thing where it belongs. It just belongs in, it is not even masculinism. It is the biasness of our cultures. So there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with me being working in a laboratory, and there's nothing wrong with another woman working on the street and doing whatever she does best. Now, the only problem is that because it has been taken underground, then that is where the problem of abuse and misuse, and they are killed, and nobody cares that these women are killed. Because if somebody were to come to my laboratory and kill me, the hell would break loose just because I'm working in a laboratory. But if somebody kills another woman doing the work wherever she does her work, and she has clients, and even the clients are not going to raise hell that they have lost one of their the places where they solicit their business. It's almost as though it is the fault of this woman. So if she's killed, I am safe. The man, the man is rescued because the person who was tempting them has died, and she will go over. He can go over and be tempted by another woman, and that is okay. No, it is something is totally wrong the way the business is looked. It should just be, it is a business just like any other. It is just society that's wrong. Thank you.
Okay, 30 seconds.
Oh, I'm done, Balalang. Thank you.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful. Thank you, Deve. And I can see that there's no other person that has raised their hand to discuss whether they agree or they don't. Even if you don't support, you don't have supporting information. I would like to hear, out of the 9 people that are here, who are for and who are for against. Because Miriki said against, and the others who can tell us, not even coming to speak to give the supporting information. We just need to have a feel of the audience as to where are we leaning towards. Okay. Now, Miriki, then let us give the stage to you.
Thanks, Brother. I want to ask Dave a question. Dave, would you tell a young girl to aspire to be a sex worker? Dave, you say it's a normal job. So if you see a young girl, would you tell her that you don't mind her being a commercial sex worker? Dave?
Oh, hey, yeah, that is you had to go there. I would not, because society is wrong, and society has no respect for the person that is a sex worker. And the reason society has no respect for that person is that that person shows society who they are, that society is made up of men who have such desires. It is not the problem is not, it's not that she supplies these wares. The problem is that people are ashamed that they would have desires that would lead them to buy those services. There's nothing wrong with that. It is only that it is stigmatized. Stigmatized. It is a business that is stigmatized. So I wouldn't tell a young lady to go there until society straightens itself up, deals with their own sexuality and the need and their need for sex. I don't know if I'm supposed to use that word.
Okay, thank you, David.
Thank you.
And also, in general, people have issues in expressing themselves sexually. So it is stigmatized, the profession, but also in general, people find it difficult talking about sex. I don't know why. I know some of my friends, the others that we can't even touch their subject. Dorcas, the platform is yours. Dorcas?
Okay. Yes. I'm trying to turn on my video again. Yeah.
Oh, yes. There you go.
Aha. Now, I think I'll disagree significantly with Deve, because as I said, my views on this topic are changing. I think it's a common rebuttal when we hear somebody speaking against sex work for the pro-team, the pro-sex work team to say, but it is a body part like any other. If you say that somebody is demeaning themselves by selling their body, we sell our bodies when we do construction work, when we are models. You see, they're models that show themselves off and stuff like that, and many other industries where you literally sell your body. So
I'm
okay.
talking about using our hands also for massage. That would be the one that would match what Endeavor is talking about.
Yes, exactly. Our hands, exactly. I can't even think of any industry where we don't use our hands. However, and I really thought about this long and hard. I was so conflicted until I thought about it. And I realized that sex work is unique because it involves a part of the body that is private. It's literally called a private part. That is why we don't go around wearing clothes that expose our genitals. Like we can wear other things, we can wear things that expose the cleavage and stuff, but not your genitals because it's unique. It's supposed to be kept private. This is also, by extension, the reason why we have myriads of laws surrounding sex. Sex is not the same as other work, construction work, surgery, teaching, etc. It's not the same because of even how we govern laws around it. We have anti-sexual harassment laws. We have anti-rape laws. We have even exposure. Like when you go to a public place and you expose yourself, that is illegal in most countries. And I support those laws. It isn't that we are shaming people for having those parts. It's just that this is a unique aspect of our human experience, and it ought to be protected, so to speak. So because of that attitude, then it becomes difficult for somebody who willingly engages in work that involves that private part, their genitalia. Whether we like it or not, it will always come with that component. So that's the answer I had on this issue of purity culture. Yes, I do acknowledge that there is the excess of purity culture, overly policing people's sexuality, but sex work is the other extreme. That's the other extreme. So that's what I wanted to add. Then the other point I wanted to bring up regarding reasons not to support sex work is the idea of pandering to men's sexuality. Now, this one comes from the radical feminist perspective. I have told you guys many times that I consider myself to be a feminist, and in fact, I lean very strongly towards radical feminism. I might not agree with all of their tenets, but yeah, I lean strongly towards it. In feminist circles, there's strong disagreement on sex work. There are the liberal feminists who are like, yes, we are pro-sex work, let anybody do what they want. But the radical feminists look at it from systemic issues, from the systemic angle. And they're like, these are mostly women. As I said, close to 90% of prostitutes happen to be female, and then their clients also share the same percentage as males, that is. So these are women who are catering to men's sexuality. So you are literally objectifying yourself. And there's a power imbalance that comes with that. I think I've exhausted my 5 minutes. Let me leave it there. I'll be happy to answer any questions if somebody has them. Oh yeah, I also have a question for the floor. Kindly, sorry, Ndebe. I have a question for the floor. What do you make of people who say that housewives or even girlfriends who ask for money from their male partners, usually it is their male partners, that those ones are also engaging in sex work? Thank you.
I have a question. I have a question for Dorcas. If you indulge me, Bolelang. Have we lost Bolelang? Dorcas?
You are muted.
Bolelang, you're muted.
Bolelang.
You're muted.
Oh, my apologies. I said, thank you, Dorcas, for your contribution. I would like you to sit on the point of private parts. What if the mouth was the private part? There's a book that I read. I think it was called Mouth as a Private Part, and dealing with the issue of what we make private and why we make that private. So I would like you to think about the privacy of the genitals. Why are they private? But when your chance comes, you will deal with it. Then Ndebe?
Yes, I have a question for Dorcas. Dorcas, do you know that in Africa, we wore very little clothing for a very long time? We've just been wearing clothes for the last couple, maybe last 100 years. Otherwise, we didn't, we really, I don't know whether we even had such a thing as private parts. And we did not murder each other. We did not, I think we were more disciplined. So I just want you to take that into consideration when you talk about private parts. And I do know we have nudist colonies around here where people do not wear clothes, and it has nothing to do with sex. It's just, I don't know what it is about, but they wear no clothes. So I think I really think that it's about the Puritanistic thing, that really it's religion. Religion has something to do with it. Stigmatizing some parts of our bodies, but they have function. We can't actually think without what we would be, how we would function without those parts of our bodies. So we should not stigmatize them. They're just okay part of our bodies. Thank you. You are muted. You are muted, Bolelang. You are muted.
Hey, this mouse is not doing what it's supposed to do. I say thank you, Ndebe, for the question. And Dorcas, please sit with it also. When it's your next chance to speak, then please address it. Yes, I can see that we don't have other people with their hands raised on the first issue of asking whether they support or they don't support the issue of sex work. But the question that we would like to understand is, an adult, can they legitimately exchange sex for money? even if it's not sex work, does it happen that people exchange money for sex? That's another thing that I would like us to consider as we deal with this support or against. Then the issue of poverty. How does poverty play a role into us deciding whether sex work is good or is not good? Economic pressures. If a person is driven by economic pressures into doing it. Then here's another question also. What about people who feel good about engaging in sex? They have a very high sex drive and they find it naturally doing it. And they don't have any qualms with doing it with different people. And they would like to use that as a career without any guilt. So let us think about those questions as we are having these discussions. I'm feeling a bit conflicted calling somebody Galaxy A10. Who's behind the name? And is it possible for you to change the name so that we can call you in a respectable name that your parents gave to you? Who's Galaxy A10? Never.
Thank you, Bolelang. Definitely, I'm not Galaxy A10. Hello, Galaxy A10, wherever you are. So, the way things go, even a dating couple, there are exchanges. There are economic exchanges. They buy you earrings. They buy you this. They give you. Somebody told me that, oh, you women, you get your doors opened for you. Why do you think a guy is open a door for you? And you see, so this person was suggesting that everything that somebody does for a lady, there is something attached to it. This person is expecting to gain something. The way in an African, maybe it is going to be lost in translation, that a cow you are not milking should not be eating your grass, which means that you are feeding this cow grass because you are expecting to get some milk from it. And if you're not going to get any milk, why are you going to feed them your grass? So what I'm trying to say is this: even in a marriage, if the wife is eating the grass and there is no way she's going. She has to. The man is expecting, has got expectations. Otherwise, that is grounds to divorce a girlfriend. I mean, if it is a relationship that is has got certain, has reached a certain situation, a certain position, there is going to be things that the guy is going to be expecting from the lady. In Kenya, they say kula fare, that if you are sent, if the guy sends you fare, you need to go over to where he is expecting you to go with that fare. No, you can't just take the fare, buy yourself a dress with the fare and not go see the guy, because the guy sent you the fare with an expectation of something, of getting some milk. That's why he sent you the grass. Well, the grass is the fare. So yes, even in a marriage, you are exchanging your body for that house that you live in. You are exchanging your body for the money that he gives you. You are exchanging your body for that diamond, for the diamond earrings he bought you, or watch or something that you are exchanging your body. It is sex work. Thank you. Only it is sex work with one person and you are safe, but it is safe. It is sex work. Thank you.
Thank you, David. Here's another idea that I see here in South Africa. Men like to spend for strange ladies in places of entertainment, maybe clubs and the likes, and with the exchange of going home with them. Is that part of sex work? Let's think about it also. I wonder whether it's happening in Kenya like it's happening in South Africa. Here, there's that expectation that it's even dangerous because a lot of rape cases happen where a man says, I bought her drinks, I bought her lunch and things like that, and then expecting something to be done in return. Also, ladies also, sometimes they do reward men using sex after they have done something for them. How does it differ from the money aspect? I'm just poking this question so that we should expand our discussion to include all those. I see that Galaxy is not there any longer, but it means it's somebody who's with us and active now. If Galaxy A10 can change the name to a meaningful one, we'll appreciate it. Dorcas?
Galaxy
Are you with
A10,
us, Dorcas?
Yes, yes. I'm wondering, Galaxy A10, you're not able to speak? I think there's something wrong with your device, Galaxy A10. Even Benson Tim had raised his hand. It looks like they both agreed to lower.
Oh yeah, but Benson also even came after you. It was Galaxy before Endeavor, then it was Endeavor, then it was you, then after it was Benson.
Okay, okay. Sawa. Then let me give my contribution. Now, the question that Endeavor asked me about how did I know that back in our ancestors' time, we wore very few clothes? Yes, I'm very much aware of that. And I don't have a problem with people wearing clothes as scantily as they want. I've always been against that conservative culture of forcing women to cover themselves up, or men for that matter, but it usually targets women. I don't have a problem with you exposing your body. I don't have a problem. The issue here is that it's not just exposing that body. Actually, it's the genitals specifically that I'm focusing on. It's not just exposing it, it is using it to have sex. And we as a society have decided that we have limits to that kind of interaction, that having sex wantonly, if I can say, all over is problematic. Yeah, we have decided as a society, morality is social consensus. We all just decide that this is the way we are going to live life. And I cited examples of those laws that exist, which demonstrate how we have issues with sexual contact. we have rules around it. So I don't have a problem with anti-sexual harassment laws. I don't have a problem with rape laws or things that are designed to, quote unquote, police the sex act. Yeah. So yeah, that's what I had to say on that issue. Now, on the other question you asked, Mr. Moderator, is it really possible to engage in sex work without being coerced by economic scarcity, by poverty? What about those people who do it because they love it? Yes, absolutely. It is possible to engage in sex work without being poor. There are many middle-income women and men who enter this trade, and they're looking to make maybe a quick buck. Some of them maybe want to do it for a certain duration of time. Then once they reach their target, they exit the trade, etc. So yes, it is possible. However, is that the majority? I put it to you that it is not. People in the lowest ranks of the economic stratum are overrepresented in sex work. So we have to address that aspect. And we also have to consider other risks that come with it. Yes, you can choose something, but is that thing good for you? There are women who choose female genital mutilation. They want it. There were women who were demonstrating some time back, I think it was last year, for the right to mutilate their genitals. Do we say it's okay, it's consensual, let them do it, even when this thing will cause harm to you? So there might be some question marks there. That's why I'm like, I don't want to focus on the individual aspect alone. Yes, she's consenting to it. Yes, she has the free will to do so as an adult that was not coerced into it, but there are those risks that are inherent in the industry. Have we considered them? And then in response to my question, I had asked members about transactional arrangements, like literally wives where men are providers. They're saying those are sex workers, in other words. No, I disagree with that assumption. That is overgeneralizing. A wife does not just provide sex. Yes, there's that implicit understanding in those kinds of marriages where the man is the breadwinner, or the man brings home most of the financial income. You find that there's that understanding she ought to give sex. But now there's so many other roles that the wife fulfills. She will clean the house. She will raise the children. She will be his emotional pillar. She will provide emotional support. Like if he has challenges, she'll listen to him. She will be his social support system when they are going for family gatherings, they are together. So she's providing so much more than the sex. She's not whittled it down to just that. Even in the dating arrangement, where if somebody pays for your date, even though I am an advocate of going Dutch, I've told you guys numerous times, I think people should split the bill. But I am a minority. I know most women don't like that. But even in those situations where the man is paying for the date, it's not an implicit contract like you would when you go maybe to a website that is for sex workers, or you go to a street and you meet a woman, or you go to a club and you meet a woman who says she's going to give it to you for a price. That one is in the strict sense of the word a sex worker. But with this particular lady, there are other, it can be argued, other perks, you know, maybe the pleasure of her company, maybe in the future you will have a relationship, you'll communicate with each other. There'll be other benefits that you will derive besides the sex. So it isn't a must that you get sex because you paid for the date. And I actually despise men who are so entitled about that. I think you should have a conversation beforehand. You know, agree who is paying for the date. If it is me, my expectation is that you are going to go to bed with me. If she agrees, fine. If she doesn't, don't go for that date and then rein in on her all of a sudden at the last minute and say, you owe me sex because I paid for this date. No, no, no. That was not the implicit agreement beforehand. In sex work, the commercial sex worker implicitly states that she's doing this specifically for money. She's giving you sex for money. So yeah, that's my contribution. Thank you.
The stubborn mouse. Thank you, Dorcas. Let us hear from Bill.
Okay, so I'm not sure about the question, what the question was, but from what I'm hearing Dorcas saying, I think she's using the word implicit instead of explicit from her discussion, like from what the point she's trying to pass across. I don't know. I don't know if I'm right, Dorcas. That's what I wanted to say.
Oh, Bill, I wonder if everybody had you. The volume was low on my side.
Oh, I'm saying, I think Dorcas is using the word implicit instead of explicit in her discussion. So I was asking her if she can clarify on that.
Yes. Oh, sorry.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. Thank you for correcting me, Bill. Yes, explicit. Explicit.
Thank you, Bill. And Benson, I've seen you a number of times coming back and going off again. May we hear your voice? You definitely have something to say. Or maybe it was okay, then we open the platform for everybody. We move to the second point, where I've messed up my notes here. Let me just put them in order. Dorcas, what was the next point?
The next question was, does criminalization improve or worsen the situation?
Okay, I'll find it just now. Okay, yes, I found that paper. Yes, that's the question. Does criminalization improve or worsen the situation? There are countries where sex work is not allowed. Like in South Africa, sex work is not allowed. I don't know in Kenya what is the situation. But it doesn't mean that when it's not allowed, it's not happening. It's happening big time here in South Africa, even though it is not legal. And there's very little prosecutions taking place about sex work. What do you think, does legalizing or criminalizing it affect how people practice it? Let's hear from Brian.
Well, I mean, thank you, Olelang. I think it doesn't, criminalization or decriminalization doesn't change whether people will do it. What it will change is how people who are in the business or in the industry are treated, right? It's the primary vector for abuse, basically, the fact that it is still criminalized. It's the only reason, or one of the main reasons why people who are sex workers get disempowered so quickly, because they, without any recourse to reach out to the law for something that goes wrong, the only thing they have to rely on is themselves or their peers, or people who are willing to stand up for them or something. And the people who are willing to stand up for them may not only do it because they are doing it out of the goodness of their heart, they will do it for money or for sexual favors. So I think it's the only reason why there's so much harassment and sexual abuse that goes along with the sex work itself. Yeah, that's all I have to say.
Thank you, Brian. So you say by criminalizing it, we are making it more abusive. Yes, I see. I see some logic there. And then, if it's criminalized also, who's the criminal? Is it the person who is buying, or is it the person who's selling? Because here in South Africa, I know usually it is the person who's buying who ends up in trouble. So the police would stop there and wait for when the transaction happens, and then they go and pounce the person who's buying. What is the position in your place at Dorcas? Oh, I see that Dorcas has moved, Miruki.
A question. So in South Africa, what happens to the women then? Just a question. What happens to the ladies? A question. Because I didn't know that. So what happens to the girls or the ladies?
They do pick them up, but these cases don't end up with prosecution.
So I think the ladies go free. The ladies go scot-free.
They are abused most of the time.
No, I'm saying
to agree with.
I'm saying when the police come in and arrest the man, what happens to the lady?
I would not be privy to it. I'm not a customer, but when we read, we hear of police abusing the women for them being in the streets. So police most of the time want to get free services. So it's a form of what do you call it? Corruption that is taking place. Okay. Was it Bill talking about the criminalization opening people for abuse? That's the one that I saw when I was thinking about it.
And then, but I want to make a point, and maybe Dave can help me out here. Dave, I think the difference between sex work is because there's no school, there's no college, there's no course you go to learn sex. That's why it's different from other professions. Yeah, you can go to school, you can there's no certificate or degree. So it's something that's natural. So I think that's the difference between sex work and other works. That's why it's stigmatized. Thanks.
Okay, even though I see a bit of a problem there, it's not every skill that we have to get formal qualification to practice it. There are many people who are good in gardening, who are good in cleaning, and others who have an affinity to connect easily with people. And you find that they take care of children and other things, but they don't have a qualification.
Okay, I meant we
David?
are sexual beings. We're all sexual beings. Because it's sex, we are all sexual beings. It's natural for all human beings to be sexual. That's what I meant.
Yeah, I'll come back to it. No, we are not all sexual. There are people who don't care about sex at all. They do have genitals, but they don't care about sex. They don't want it. Let us go to Endeavor. Hold that point. We'll come to it.
Thank you, Bolelang. I will start by saying that actually there are more professions or more places that more things people work on without having any formal training or education on it. So that one, let us just not. Yeah, I'm not going to go into that because people do. They are parking. They are pumping gas. They never went to school to pump gas, but they are doing that. So no, that the problem with that is because somebody somewhere has decided that doing that job should stay in the marriage bed or whatever, where they because they have packaged it in a certain category. So that until and unless we get out of that and decriminalize sex work, then the sex workers will always be unsafe. Okay, so in Ontario, I'm going to say in Ottawa, the people who solicit sex, they've kind of turned the tables. The people who solicit sex are called John. They are called Johns. And you can be arrested as a John. And when you are arrested, you are taken to a John school. I don't know what goes on in a John school. Because I've never talked to a John so that they can tell me what goes on in a John school. But you go to John school. I think maybe they go teach you about sex work or what are the good and the bad things about it. I don't know. I hope they teach those guys how to do it right. And one time, usually they use entrapment and they use a cop to go and entrap a John. Fortunately or unfortunately, I think this was totally unfortunate because this cop entrapped a major heart surgeon of Ottawa, somebody who is known. I can't even say the name because he is very much. In fact, if you go Google, the major heart surgeon of Ottawa, he will come up. His name starts with a K. And that is the guy who was caught as a John that day. And I do not know why it was made public because this place can also be a little weird. So if we had decriminalized this thing, our surgeon would have no problem. He would just go ahead and go buy his whatever thing he has to buy, just the way you can buy bananas. It is in the open. They'll come. The ladies can set up their own house. It is clear. It is a front door. You come to the front door. Everybody knows that you are going to buy bananas or you are going to buy mangoes. There's no secret. You are safe and the ladies are safe because it is a willing buyer, willing seller. When we decriminalize this thing, that is what it becomes. You come in through the front door. There is no muscle guy that probably take all your money, and you know that you're going to leave that place without any diseases. You go in, it's clean business. It's a fair exchange. The John is safe and the Jen is also safe. I think that is what would happen when we decriminalize this thing. Everybody would be safe, and hey, maybe the government can also collect some taxes from the business, because it would be a clean, authentic, legal business, and everybody would be safe. And then goodbye these feelings of shame, or a guy walked into that place, or and then the cops would not be harassing these girls and getting free services for no good reason. Like, why is a cop going to get free services just because they felt like harassing those girls that night? I'm just saying, decriminalize the whole thing. Thank you.
Thank you, David. If a person comes back from the John School, do they get a qualification to be a qualified John?
That is a very good question, but I think the only person that I thought had been to John School, I couldn't dare ask the question. Somebody's not going to say what it is that goes on in a John School. I don't think they will tell you, because there's still the stigma that there is only one reason you go to a John School. You go to a John School because, like our doctor, you got caught. And you got caught because
Canada?
somebody. Yeah, Ottawa. Ottawa. If you ever visit Ottawa, don't go. You could be entrapped by a cop it's a cop that is dressed in a miniskirt. Just for entrapment. Okay. What other reason would a cop be dressed in a miniskirt? Entrapment. And if she entraps you will be arrested. Go to John School. Yeah.
Dorcas, let us hear.
I believe Bill raised his hand before me.
Let me share the order. You raised it before Bill, but Jesus says, blessed are the ones who shrink themselves. And let us listen to Bill.
Okay, so first, I think, I don't think there is a straightforward answer to whether decriminalizing sex work will make it more or less safe. Because I think, like right now, we have cases of sex trafficking, and I think it makes it like harder to distinguish between sexual traffickers and legitimate workers when they have been legalized. So, for instance, like right now, we're in countries where pornography is legal, and we have these cases of this fetishes, the people with fetishes that maybe they want those videos where they act out sexual assault. And I think it makes it like difficult to distinguish between those that are videos and those that are actual sexual assault cases, or the cases of maybe people who are actually children, or people who are acting as if they're kids now. Like you see, we have had so many cases of teachers like shooting pornographic content in schools because of OnlyFans. So I don't think like I think okay that I think that distinction, it becomes more blurry when sex work is legalized. That said, I think criminalizing it is also still unreasonable because enforcing it is really difficult. Because distinguishing between a person that has paid for sex and a person who just went for a one night stand is also again a very difficult thing to do, like distinguishing between those two groups. Also, I think it's more of a morality issue than a criminal issue. So I don't think the law should be in the business of controlling morality or like focusing on moral issues. Lastly, on David's point of like on how like if we decriminalize sex work, then people will be doing it more freely and with less stigma. I don't think like the reason why people are ashamed of sex work is because it's illegal. I think it's just because there's a stigma around it, which is why in countries where pornography is legal, the people who participate in pornography are still ashamed of it, or most of the people who are participating in pornography are still embarrassed about doing it. It's like in Kenya right now, these things are illegal. Sex work is illegal, but we have people that are doing it openly and they don't really care. And there are still people who are ashamed of it because it's a morality issue. It's more of the social stigma is the reason why people are ashamed of like participating in it, not because it's illegal. Okay, I'm done.
Thank you, Bill. So you see, criminalizing it not even helping to bring it down.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dorcas?
Okay. Now, I believe that just like Bill, it is complicated. There are no simple solutions to this matter because we have three models to dealing with sex work. One, you criminalize. Two, you decriminalize. Three, you legalize and regulate it. Now, I lean strongly towards decriminalizing it. Partially, I would want them to target the intermediaries. I would want them to criminalize. You decriminalize it towards the sellers of the service. The prostitutes themselves should not be bothered because they're just meeting a demand. But I would want them to criminalize the pimps and the brothels because these are the people that exploit and abuse these women. They're usually the ones that bring problems. Now, it's interesting what Ndeve spoke about when she said in Ottawa, Canada, they criminalize buyers of the trade. I think that's really unrealistic. It's like trying to collect water with a sieve because this thing will happen. Whether you criminalize it or not, in fact, it will just drive it underground when you try and target those direct parties, the buyer and the seller, if you try and arrest them. In fact, it's interesting, she gave Canada as an example. We also have, that's called the equality model, the Nordic model. We have a number of countries, including Sweden, Iceland, France, Norway, Ireland, and now some parts of Canada. I don't know if it is all of Canada, but yeah, they go with the equality model, which partly decriminalizes it towards the prostitutes. The prostitutes themselves are not arrested or harassed by law enforcers, but the buyers are the ones that are targeted. And what is their logic? Their logic is they're trying to kill the demand for sex work because they consider sex work to be a demeaning profession. They also, their end goal is to facilitate the exit of prostitutes out of the industry. So they also fund programs, alternative economic activities that they can learn in order to support themselves without having to rely on prostitution. That's the equality model or the Nordic model. I don't support it because I just think that it's unrealistic that this thing will go on, whether we want it to go on or not. I think the better option would be to focus on the challenges in the industry and to criminalize those abusers and exploiters. I didn't mention this aspect in large scale when I was giving my contribution of why some people are against prostitution, is the issue of violence. Very many serial killers and psychopaths target prostitutes. They are just a low-hanging fruit. And even though the moderator had said we are not going to talk about sex trafficking, we still just have a number of abusers who exploit the industry, and they traffic individuals, or they hire underage girls for that profession. Then we also have what Bill said, the fetishists who take pleasure in causing someone's pain, and sometimes it can be extreme. Like I remember how there's a lady, a sex worker here in Kenya, who went to Kilimani. Some white guy had said he's going to pay her what she quotes. What money, what amount do you want? And she said 100,000. So when she went there, lo and behold, he had 3 dogs that, I don't know whether it is raped her, or I don't even know what to call that. But the dogs did the deed on her as the white guy was watching and masturbating, because that's his fetish. So after that, of course, the lady was physically ruined. She had to go for treatment. Or that whole amount of money that she was paid was directed towards that kind of treatment, or the response to what had been done to her, the trauma that was inflicted on her, or the violence. So I would want laws that deal with such characters, okay, that criminalize such characters. And yeah, it's not a wholesale criminalization of all buyers, because not all buyers, in fact, most buyers are not violent, but they need to act very quickly when it comes to violent customers. Yeah, sometimes the law is a bit slow to act when they learn that it is a prostitute who was the victim. So I think we need to have such laws. In Kenya, as I finish, in Kenya, it's not illegal per se to do sex work, to be a prostitute. It's not illegal per se, but there are certain penal codes like public nuisance laws or public disorder laws that the police use in order to harass prostitutes. I even had a public speaking client who runs an NGO that defends commercial sex workers' rights. And she said one of the greatest challenges they face is harassment from police. So they have to bribe them in order for the police to go away, because the police threaten to arrest them. In Kenya, it is a gray area, but it is in practice. In theory, it is not illegal, but in practice, it is illegal, and many prostitutes are arrested. So I wish that would change. I wish it would be decriminalized for them and then criminalized for the pimps and the brothels. If a woman decides to get into the field, let her be self-employed. Let her do it on her own. Let her get clients, and let the client pay for it as willing buyer, willing seller. Yeah, that's my contribution. Thank you.
Thank you, Dorcas. That's a good contribution. I was listening to at the beginning where you talked about the pimp and the brothel, and later you talk about the fetishes and the person who used dogs on the client. I remember a case where it happened in Dubai also, where a person was given to dogs. Then here's my question. Doesn't a brothel prevent such situations because the customer has to come to a brothel? Should the legislation not give power to the sex worker to be the one who hires the brothel or a pimp rather than happening the other way around? Because you might find that the power, because it's not legislated, it's on the people who are keeping the brothel or the pimp. That's an issue that we can look at, because if they work as individuals without anybody helping them to provide security, to provide an environment, then people will end up in all sort of environments that they never thought about. Okay, let us go to Muriki. Are you there, Muriki? No, it seems Muriki is there. Dorcas, maybe you can respond.
Okay, I'm there now. Can you hear me?
Oh, thank you. Yes, I can.
Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, I just want Dorcas to confirm. She said in Kenya it's not illegal. I want Dorcas to confirm that for me, because I thought Kenya it's illegal. And again, like Bralang, I think the power has to be to the pimp, because the pimps own the buildings. These ladies come from, I think they come from either poor places or they are disadvantaged. So the power will always be with the pimp and not the ladies. Thanks.
Thank you, Muriki. Then we go to Dorcas.
Yes, let me start with Morioki's question. As I said, Morioki, it is a gray area. There is no specific part of the Constitution that says it is illegal, you are forbidden from selling sex work. However, our police officers use some sections of the penal code, like nuisance laws, where it is purported that you're causing a nuisance or you're soliciting for immoral reasons. Apparently, there's a section of the penal code that says something like that. It's very vague. It hasn't explicitly stated that it's sex itself, but soliciting for immoral acts, is covered under that. So police can use that and say, we are going to arrest you for it, unless you give us something small. So yeah, it's a gray area, Morioki. Now, on the question that you asked.
Thanks. Okay.
Oh, okay, great. The question that you asked, doesn't a brothel protect a prostitute from such attacks like the one of the dog? This is actually logic that has been used by pimps from time immemorial, that the sex trade industry, by its very nature, is vulnerable to violence. So those prostitutes need a man or somebody powerful to protect them from such individuals. And I would say that it's something brothels give with one hand and take away with another. Yes, it might be true that a brothel would maybe safeguard against such, but we also have brothels where women are expected to do more risque sexual acts at a premium. You are told by the brothel owner or the madam that if a customer agrees to pay I don't know what amount is a lot. I'm totally clueless about this industry. Is it 50,000 shillings or whatever? If they decide to pay that, you should be able to give them unprotected sex. Yeah. Or you should be able to accept lashings and beatings, or other things that you're not comfortable with, other things that are degrading, urinating on you. There are those special arrangements. There's nothing that money can't buy. And when it comes to this act of sex, people are always willing to push the limits. You see, for instance, here in Kenya, I know of massage parlors nowadays. They give that happy ending. And if you make a special arrangement with the owner of the massage parlor, you can get a happy ending, and you can get other extra services that might be risky to the owner, to the seller of that service. So the brothels come with advantages, and they also come with disadvantages. People often descend to the least common denominator. In a country like Germany, for instance, where it is legal to sell sex, we find that the brothels have become so competitive that, first of all, they really reduce the prices, or they have this flat rate where a man can enter and sleep with as many women as he wants. So a number of them, they become so competitive that they're like, a woman, you as a prostitute, you will continue to have sex even if you are sore, even if there's this and that and that. So they become exploitative, those brothels, owing to just the nature of the service that they are selling. So yeah, it's tricky. Those brothels give with one hand and take away with another. So I think we should leave the work of security to law enforcers, not these intermediaries who eventually come with their own demons, so to speak. Yeah. By the way, I wanted to ask members, what do they think about OnlyFans? Okay, no, not OnlyFans, sorry. What do they think if you had, if you were dating, or you had, you were dating, you were considering dating, and your potential partner tells you that they regularly buy sex? Would you be comfortable? Now, this one, maybe I'm targeting the ladies, because as I said, the industry predominantly caters to men. But imagine if you are, for the men, because we have a majority of the members here are men. So for the men, pretend that you're a woman and your potential boyfriend tells you that they buy sex regularly. What would you make of it? How would that affect your sex life going forward? Do you think it has any implications on the quality of sex that you would have with your boyfriend or your partner if they have been patronizing commercial sex workers? Thank you.
Thank you, Dorcas. That's an interesting question. We see one lady. I still don't know who's, it's gone now, Galaxy. Apology, I don't know. Bill, The platform is yours.
Okay, so to answer Dorcas's question, I think the regularly part will disturb me about the lady. Like regularly seems like really weird for a person that buys sex regularly, and also it makes it appear as if they're incapable of getting someone to have sex with them consensually, so they have to pay for it. So I don't think I will be able to look at them the same way. Also, if they'll be doing that in the course of a relationship, then again that's another problem. Maybe if I think if it's they're talking in past tense that I used to, then I might be able to. I think I might be able to overlook that. But in present tense, like where at the time that we're together, then that's a problem. I'm done.
Oh, sorry for that delay. Oh, yeah. And the issue of buying from a partner, it's not something that is one-sided, maybe because in a relationship there are two people. There's a scenario where the man says they buy, and the lady says also, yes, I buy services also. And it's a couple that invites people. We have had a number of cases like that in South Africa of couples who pick up girls at clubs and they pay them money. And you find that it's both the lady and the gentleman. Usually it's the ladies that approach these girls. And you find that she's doing it for the husband. Okay. We'll hear as people elaborate on this issue. Devin, let us hear from you.
Thank you, Bolelang. As for if a partner or a boyfriend or a husband were to tell me, that is a very honest thing to say, but I think I would say that most of those things go unsaid. And for the pessimists like me, because as in Kiswahili, we say, usikane mkono usiolalia. Unless you are lying on a hand, you do not know where it has been roaming. You don't know where that hand has been. So even if somebody does not say that they occasionally buy these services, or they say that they have a girlfriend out there, you have to leave room for what this person might be doing. And it is the same with the women, because I've read of stories that happen in bachelorette parties. And there is no way somebody is going to arrange a bachelorette party that has got some weird things going on, and we would say that is their first time to do this thing. No, it is not their first time to do this thing. So both men and women, we should never be the kind of person that would say, oh, so-and-so would never do that thing. No, you have to leave room for doubt that somebody is, whatever they do with you, they might do with another person. There's a big likelihood that that whatever you do together, they do with somebody else, or they've considered doing it with somebody else, or they've actually done with somebody else. So leave a little room for that. So if they are soliciting sexual workers, yeah, I would be concerned for their safety and for diseases. I mean, because you don't know if they are always using protection, because somebody would say that, oh, I know, I know that sex worker well enough, or whatever it is that, this or the other. But definitely, yes, there would be concerns that you could both get sick. Thank you.
Oh yeah, I wonder whether regular customers don't know the rules, because I think the more regular the customer is, the more they will be aware of the risks that are involved, and they will be using protection. That's just another opinion. And also the question that, is it Dorcas who asked that question? We should also ask if a person is that honest about it, how truthful are they about their life, because you find that people who don't use that services, maybe they are cheaters also. They get them for free, and the person who's honestly saying that whenever I feel this urge and you're not around, I would not go to somebody who we will form links with. I would rather pay for somebody who gives that as a professional service. So yeah, we can expand on it. But also, I would like to look at the point of religion on this issue of how the issue of sex work is viewed. What role does religion have on it? And if you are not religious, it means maybe you have a different view because of you not being religious, or does it really play a role? That's a point that I would like us to discuss now. And Galaxy, was that raising a hand? Oh, you have gone dark now. Yeah, then let us get on that issue of religion and non-religious. Does it influence your view on the issue of sex work? Dorcas?
Okay. Galaxy A10, your movements are very distracting. I just see the camera going. And then there's something that looks like a screwdriver that is appearing in the foreground. Galaxy A10. I hope you're not a troll. Anyway, now let me begin first of all with my question. If my boyfriend told me that he has been procuring sex services regularly, that was in the past, like we are just starting the relationship, and he tells me that that is his history, I would be concerned. I would be concerned because this might be a habit. It might be something that he's grown so accustomed to that whenever, as Bolelang said, whenever he gets the urge, he just goes and buys. And you know, nowadays we have online platforms to do it. It's so easy. You don't even have to go outside your house. You can just order the service, and she comes to you right away. I think this is somebody who is not used to compromise as a necessity in relationships, or to waiting, to patience when it comes to sex, because there'll be instances where I'm on my period, so I can't do it. Okay, there's some women who engage in period sex, but I personally find it gross, so I don't do it. So he has to wait. And maybe, I don't want to give too much information, maybe it's many days for my case. Then, on top of that, I might be living far away, and it's inconvenient for us to meet as regularly as he was used to buying the sex. So does it mean that the person will step out of the relationship and go to this commercial sex worker? I would have a problem with that because I believe in exclusivity. The moment we have started a relationship, we are to be monogamous. I don't believe in sharing. Because nowadays there are all kinds of permutations of relationships that exist out there. So I wouldn't be comfortable with that. Also, even the nature of the sex that we have, a person who often gets it from prostitutes is somebody who is used to being catered to. Like you pay her and she does everything you want. However, in a relationship, you are mutual. You know, he's supposed to give you pleasure as you also give him pleasure. I'd be concerned about his ability to reciprocate if he's so used to this one-sided relationship. And of course, finally, I'd have problems with the risks involved. I think I would demand a full body screening, not just HIV. We have a lot of oral diseases that are passed on, including herpes. In fact, I'm told, correct me if I'm wrong, somebody, but I'm told that herpes is lifelong. You get flare-ups and then it goes away, kidogo, then it comes, but it never leaves your body once you get infected, and it's gotten through oral. So I think sometimes we focus too much on HIV, yet there are numerous other sexually transmitted illnesses that you can contract. So since he's interacting with this demographic of sex workers who are at risk of those, you find somebody has slept with 20 customers in one weekend or more, depending on how fast she can move. You know, that person is exposed to so many illnesses. So I'd be uncomfortable having a boyfriend who goes to such. Yeah, that's my position. Now, on the role of religion, I would say that religion advocates for purity culture, and it demonizes sex outside the context of marriage. It's actually considered to be a sin to fornicate, and that is even when it's not a commercial transaction. So with a prostitute, it's even worse. And I know some Christians might give the example of Jesus and the woman at the well, the Samaritan, because they were saying that she had 5 husbands and the one she's with is not even hers. Others were even calling her a prostitute. But then Jesus said that this woman has been redeemed and he forgave her sin. So the fact that he's forgiving her means he thinks it is wrong. They might also give the other example of, let he who is without sin be the first to cast a stone. When people wanted to stone the prostitute, but then Jesus started drawing in the sand and saying, let he who is without sin be the first to cast a stone. That is still not an indication of Jesus okaying sex work. He was just being redemptive. He was forgiving people for a wrong. So according to him, it is a wrong that is being done. I believe in many religiously conservative countries, even in Islam, for instance, it is demonized. Sex work is demonized. Conversely, if you're not religious, you tend to be a bit more nuanced. Like we have seen in this Zoom meeting, some people are fully pro sex work, other people are against, other people are in between. So I think when you are irreligious, it just depends on how you assess the trade. Thank you.
Thank you, Dorcas. I'm surprised that you think of sex workers having a relationship. I thought maybe it's a transaction. And you need exclusivity, yes, on the love with your partner. So when you come back, tell us about it. I'm pulling your leg.
Oh.
Yes. And I can see it touches where I wanted to touch. Mureke?
Thanks, Bulalang. Now, Dorcas, earlier you mentioned that sex work, it's a oldest profession. Now, Dorcas, is that in the Bible or what? Because I've heard it before that it's a oldest profession. Is that from the Bible or what? Thanks.
Okay, let us go to David.
Thank you, Bolelang. I don't know. I don't even know where in the Bible it says that it is the oldest profession, because I think maybe the oldest profession was farming. I don't know. But anyway, I will not go there into professions or anything like that. But I'm going to ask in terms of the religious, on the religious side, when a John and a Jane or a seller and a buyer go and engage, who are they wronging? Who, if they are going to feel guilty, they are going to feel guilty because of what? In as far as the religion is concerned, what exactly, what wrong have they done? Is it the same as boyfriend and girlfriend, or two people who are married that live together? Where exactly is the guilt? Why are they wrong? Thank you.
Oh, interesting, David, because now we have even included the religious part of it. So your question can be viewed widely for irreligious and religious people. I think people will think about it as they answer it. Yes, we are on the issue of religion and the issue of sex work. Were you religious? Would you still have the view that you have? Or is your view influenced by your previous association with religion? Somebody asked, who was asking about, or is it Endeavor? About where it appears in the Bible. Yes, we do have people who have done that career in the Bible. But just from my mind, I remember Rahab. That was a career. Then I remember who's that who had sons called Onan, and having a brother who doesn't, or is Onan the brother who doesn't want to make a child for somebody who lost the husband, and the lady ended up pretending to be a sex worker, and the father went there. Who remembers who that character is? It's in the Bible where such things were done. And what other incidents? I know that this career was in the Bible, but the Bible, we know it was written by people who lived long time ago. So they did not write things that were inspired, as they say. They wrote things that they saw. So yeah. Okay, let us go to Miroki.
Thanks. Bill said it's from history. Bill said that it comes from history. So I want Bill to explain more kindly. It comes from history. It's the oldest profession. It comes from history. Someone will be able to explain to us what it means. Thanks.
Okay. Yes, I do stand by that. That is the oldest, one of the oldest things that have been happening in history. Just from the stories that are related, that we see it in the scriptures also. It has been that long time ago. Maybe I'm allowed to be crazy also. Before Adam's rib was taken, I wonder who was providing Adam with services. Because also we hear that they were scared of other people, so that who was that? Cain wanted to be protected from other people. Who knows? Let us hear from Bill.
Hello. So, okay. So it's not the point that sex work is the oldest profession. It comes from, I just looked it up right now, and I've seen that it came from like an idiom in England. That, however, the reason I think sex work is the oldest profession is because other animals also trade tokens for sex. That, like, there are other animals that in nature that do that. I think dolphins do that, like giving tokens for sex. Not dolphins. I've forgotten the animals that do that do that. But there are a lot of animals do that already today, and that those animals don't participate in other forms of exchange. So I think that's where this idea that sex is the only profession, because assuming that we are that human beings also follow the same trajectory when it comes to developing trade, and the first thing that people were exchanging for tokens was sex, maybe for food or for other things or other benefits. Then it's logical to conclude that the first thing that human beings traded was sex for some token, maybe food or protection or something like that. I'm done.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, Bill.
Even Dorcas can answer. Dorcas can answer also.
Then the question, Bill, it's a foreplay. It's foreplay method of payment, because we know foreplay can heighten the likelihood of having a good session, not just.
No,
and those animals who give tokens, how do you know that it's their foreplay? I know monkeys like to groom each other. If they like another monkey, they groom it. So would you say, are they buying or are they doing foreplay? That's just a question.
okay. I think when I'm talking about tokens, I'm talking about things like trinkets, like small stones, or maybe food. Like berries or such things like that. So things that are physical, not things that when once they have exchanged possession, they remain with the person that it has been given to. So, for instance, if I give a lady a bag of wheat in exchange of sex, that's trade. So that becomes a profession. But if we are doing it it is mutually beneficial, like foreplay, then I wouldn't consider that a trade. I don't know if I've answered your question.
Yeah, I can hear. And chocolate, flowers, are they tokens?
Yeah, they can be considered as tokens if that's the primary thing that is facilitating this exchange. So, for instance, if the only interaction between me and this girl is this chocolate, like I'm going to give you this chocolate in exchange for sex, then I will consider that a trade. But if there's an ongoing relationship past that chocolate, then that chocolate is not a trade. It's part of the entire relationship.
Oh, okay, I was scared. I thought maybe I've been buying services. Okay. We are at 2 hours, but that's excluding the 15 minutes that we started late on. I wonder how's the concentration. Are we still energetic about the topic? Are we tired? Have we exhausted all the points that we want to deal with? Are we ready to give the closing comments, or do we still want to go on? Let us hear. The platform is open. Mireke?
Yeah, thanks. For me, I still believe to be a sex worker, something went wrong somewhere. Yeah, something in the lady's life went wrong somewhere. To do such a profession, something went wrong in your life. So I'm against it. Something went wrong somewhere. Thanks.
Thank you, Mireke. If something happens, it cannot always be something wrong, because wrong and right, it's words we use to qualify how we view things. It's not inherent in those things. I mean, if a person is born with immense drive for sex, you wouldn't say it's something wrong that happened to that person. They were born like that. They love it. They had boyfriends who ran away. They said with them in a relationship for the first week they were happy. Hey, that lady, she's not trouble. She's not like other ladies. I don't have to ask her. But after sometimes I'm tired. And for her, it's natural. We cannot say something wrong happened to her. Maybe there's people out there who match their nature. But yeah, let us hear from others. Ndeve?
Yeah, let's, thanks, Bolelang. Let's first of all do away with prostitution being the oldest profession. It is not. This one is just a phrase that came out of the 19th century, just not long time ago, by some Kipling or somebody that wrote a play, and somebody quoted something, and then it became like it is the oldest profession. No, it is not. It is not even biblical. And in the Bible, there are harlots. The Bible, of course, uses that word harlots, but they come much later after Cain and Abel had been farming and doing whatever other things that they had been doing. And there had been warfare, and all these things came much, much later after farming, warfare, and building cities or whatever other professions that might have. No, this one is just a myth that comes. Let's first of all, because now we are dealing with this topic today, first of all, let us get rid of that one. It is not, excuse me, it is not the oldest profession. So let us just get rid of. I did put something out there which I found from AI, and that can do away with that knowledge, that myth, that idea. Thank you.
And the construction workers, we know, oh, sorry, the construction workers, we know that they like to buy services. And there's a city which was built in Genesis. What was that city? I wonder who was providing services for the construction workers in Deve.
That was
But
Babel. It was, I think it
no,
was,
no,
the
no,
city was
way
Babel.
before Babel. No,
Oh,
way
wait, before
before
Babel.
Babel.
Oh, yes, the city that was built by Cain. Yes, after Cain ran away. Yes,
Yeah,
that was
that
past the
city.
city. Yes.
I wonder who was taking care of the construction workers.
It was they came from the same place where Cain found a wife, and from the same people that he was afraid they would find and kill him. I mean, there was only Cain, his mother, and his father, and he was afraid that somebody would find him and kill him. Who exactly? Anyway,
Yeah, so you see,
we are
already
digressing.
there were people working from home. There were people who were
Were
working
we?
far away from home. Jokers.
Okay. Thank you, Endeavor, for clarifying that. It's just a phrase that has been used. I didn't know the background behind it. Thank you for clarifying that historical essence of it and showing that it is not the oldest profession. Something has been debunked today. Okay. Now, on my closing statement, I would say that if a woman or a man voluntarily chooses this profession, she isn't coerced into it, she isn't compelled into it because of economic hardship, and she is protected from harms as is reasonably possible, because it's not possible to guarantee 100% safety, but at least to try as much as possible to protect her from violence. Then I think it should continue. The trade should continue. However, if somebody is compelled by economic necessity to do it, she did not want to do it voluntarily. Maybe she does not have that high sex drive that Bolelang is talking about. She just had no other option. And maybe even she was groomed into it by her parents. Maybe she had experienced some trauma, or maybe she even had a drug addiction or something of the sort. Then I would definitely not rally behind that choice. I would instead opt to deal with the pulling issues, or is it the pushing issues, the push factors that caused her to enter there. That would mean us addressing poverty, because poverty is one of the greatest causes of many social ills. So I think programs that even target that demographic, that among the prostitutes who are not comfortable with the profession, they're doing it because they have to, out of economic necessity. But if they had another alternative, they would go for the alternative. I'm for programs like that, where you teach them how to sew clothes, or how to do hair, or to do other things that can earn them a living that they would be comfortable with. Then I'm for such programs. But if somebody opts to go down that path because they just chose to, it's not that they didn't have any other options, they just like it, then sawa sawa, let's allow adults to exercise their free will. Overall, I think Bolelang, we can come to an end.
Oh, yes. I think everybody has given their contributions. But, you know, this topic, when I was sitting and trying to think about it myself, I could not even reach a conclusion. When I closed it before I came here, and there was no solid conclusion to say I'm for or I'm not for, because I don't think I've got all of the facts that can explain why other people are doing it, because I don't think it's just the commercial reason. There are many other reasons that can contribute to it. Humans are very complex beings, and I'm not even sure whether all humans are monogamous. Maybe most of us are leaning towards monogamy, but there might be others that are not. So yes, as we close it, I'm still, what do we call it? In South Africa, we call it Dradsetter. Oh, I'm still sitting on the fence on this one. But thank you for all the contributions. Let me hand over to Dorcas.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Bolelang, for presiding over the meeting. We have kept time, thank goodness. I think, as you said, it is a complex topic. You know, I was really scratching my head and asking myself, where do I lie? Which side do I support? So it's complex, and I think it's okay to sit on the fence. Thank you to all the people that contributed. I'd like to mention them by name: Ndeve, Morioki, we had Bill, and there were some people who were turning on their videos, but they were not saying something. Then there were others who raised their hands and lowered, and they explained that they would want to say something, but they couldn't because they were not in a conducive environment. And Aki, we understand sometimes we live in homes or we are in locations that might not be ideal to have these kinds of discussions. It would have been fantastic to hear the perspective of those people who are willing to speak but not able. Murioki, your hand is up. Yes?
Yeah, let me just say it. That Galaxy 10 is a commercial sex worker. She's my friend. So I told her to come in and share experience. So I don't know what happened. She's a commercial sex worker. She's my friend. Thanks. I don't know what happened to her, Nini.
You brought a case study. I didn't know that. It would have been wonderful to hear from her. Oh dear, first-hand experience. I guess
She was
find
talking,
out from.
Yeah, she was talking, but there was no sound. I don't know why. She was talking, but no sound was going through. I don't know what was wrong.
Or probably there's an issue with her device. It would have been really enriching to hear from someone on the ground, because the rest of us are here hypothesizing and theorizing the topic, yet there's someone who had first-hand experience. Thank you, Morioki, for the thought, for inviting her, and I hope next time when we have something similar that she'll be able to say something. So guys, I wish you a good night. See you next week for yet another discussion.